We good? Live over here.
Come. Love now.
Con. We the brothers from COS, Sons of Yahsarala. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory, all right, to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukah, Quadash. All right. I'd like to also give double honors unto the elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel, whether you can accept that or not. I would also like to extend a sincere Shalawam to all the Akim out there who are listening, learning, pushing this word to the four winds, four corners of the earth, who the prophecy, the speckled bird, applies to, as well as the Akwath who are out there listening and learning in peace and subjection. All right. To you, we say Shalawam. We just going to jump right into it. We got some scriptures. We're going to just cut the mess out of Christmas, which is not biblical at all. It has nothing to do with the birth of Yahweh Shai. And as Israelites here in Babylon, we gonna just chant down, some of these customs that are about to be going on and festivities for the next 2 days to New Year's, so to speak. Did you have something you wanted to start with?
Yeah, I mean, we could go to the famous scripture, that the Israelites like to bring up, but we're gonna get it into good context as well. So
I don't know how to Salakia. This is the first run on being live on YouTube, so some of this stuff a little foreign to me, Salakia. Bear with me. I kind of like the other setup better because you can
on the stream.
Yeah, because you can mess with the screens and.
Well, I'll pull it up on mine and you can read it off,
No, it's fine. It's all good. It's all the same. But we'll read it. We'll bring it all out.
All right. So, I'll read it. You break it down, or
that's fine.
All right. So notice how it says here, as y'all can see on the right of your screen. All right. This is the Blue Letter Bible. All right. We use this Blue Letter Bible because you can go into the ancient tongues, which the scriptures was written primarily first, which is the father of all languages, Hebrew or Ibar, all right, and as well as the Greek when it comes to the New Testament, all right. So if you notice at the top, they have a couple of little footnotes that they like to add on, but it says a satire on idolatry, right? So before we start reading, we got to get the context of the prophet Jeremiah. The prophet Jeremiah saw the rise of the Babylonian Empire, right? And he seen how they were going to take over the Assyrians. And he was telling the people that this is what's going to happen, all right, in the future. Prophesying, right? Prophesy, pro and facade means to say before. Pro before, facade to say, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. So basically, it was already written that we was going to go off and they had to go into be exiled into Babylon, and the Assyrians already exiled the northern kingdom, right? Your so-called Native Americans and Latinos, pursuant to the second Esdras, what was it, chapter 13, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
So they was already over here at this time.
In the new land,
in Azareth, which means another land, right? So southern kingdom, primarily of Judah, the kingdom of Judah, primarily of the three tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And of course, you had a little sprinkle of the other nations that followed the true kingship, because Samaria and them were trying to put kings that was not of the lineage of David.
Right. So you had Salaki. I was just gonna say you was right. It is because I gotta listen on that too.
Okay.
But you was right. Second Esdras, chapter 13, verses about 40 through 50 give you the detailed flight of the northern kingdom from you know, the homeland to Babylon now, today, to America, so to speak.
So we just giving you a quick little history so we can have a full, just like Proverbs said, with all you're getting, get understanding. So we want to understand what these people, our forefathers, these prophets were saying and the environment that was around them. So in Samaria, you already had implanted heathen nations that they put in the northern kingdom. All right. So these people now, which was already prophesied through Jeremiah, was to go into Babylon in waves, right? This is how you get Ezekiel, how you get Daniel, you know, the rest of them that was exiles into Babylon. So as we read it, keep that in your head, and we're going to go down to about verse 5. All right. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. So the Most High, Yahweh, as we see constantly, is only dealing and speaking to the house of Israel.
That's right.
Right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? The 12 tribes, because Jacob's name was changed unto Israel, and the name of our camp, right? In the Lashon HaKodash, which is the ancient tongue, the holy tongue, Salakia, all right, is Yahsarala. Yeah, right? Yah, he, Shah, Prince, Allah, power. He is Prince of power, right? Verse 2. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen.
I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but you know, you gotta break stuff down for niggas.
Yeah, you know, A,
right.
B, C, you know. Yeah, so that's how
2 + 2.
Right. So what is the heathen? The heathen is a non-Israelite nation. Remember, the law was given unto Moses to give unto who? The children of Israel, the sons of Yahsarala.
And the adoption. So all those things, all those things were charged unto Israel and no one else.
So we were the only ones that was given under this law. So everybody else was in idolatry. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have the keys, right, to the kingdom to really to rule. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because they was of a moralless society, man. This is the main reason why he allowed us to destroy the land of Canaan, like all these tribes of Canaanites. All right, because they was going off.
You're quote unquote Africans.
Right, come.
Shalakia. I went and got it in the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. The word heathen, all right, people, nation, usually used for non-Israelitish people, all right, and thus has the meaning of Gentile, all right. Now, don't forget, there's 2 sets of Gentiles, which we kind of went into like slightly yesterday in our other sit down. But you know, you got the group of Gentiles who are all heathens and don't belong to the fold at all. And then you got the Gentiles that are Israelites and Israelite foreigners and belong to these, you know, they want to be like you got here in America. Like you was telling me about the brother who was like, man, why I gotta be Haitian? I'm American.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on, man. You an Israelite, bro.
Exactly.
So Shalakia got a little more here. It's the differentiation between Israelites and Gentiles was more sharply accentuated in the New Testament times than in Old Testament times. Why was that the case? Why was that the case? Why is calling someone a heathen or a Gentile, you know what I'm saying? Why was it more prominent in the New Testament? Because you had Jake going through the Hellenization period, being adopted in to those Grecian customs, man.
And this is why the 14 books that the Protestants took out of the original King James Version, all right, because this is a authorized King James Version, and King James wasn't Jake, he was an Israelite. James goes back to Jacobus, all right, which his name was Jacob, all right, and when you look up the original paintings, all right, he was of a so-called Negro phenotype,
and his nickname, I believe they called him like Blue Boy.
Yeah,
which during that time period there was no word for black.
Right.
So if you was a dark-skinned individual, they would often call you blue, like the Bluebeards. Go look this up. The Bluebeards or the blue skins of the British Isles and Scotland. Man, it was dark skinned. William Wallace was a dark skinned brother with braids to the back, man.
Shakespeare, so on and so forth. You understand the Dark Ages. You talks about in Revelation chapter 20. All right, the 1,000 years that the devil was bound. All right,
that's
we're not
right.
going to get into it now.
But, let me finish this out real quick. All right. In the Old Testament times, the reason for this being chiefly that the Jews, all right, the southern kingdom, basically the Israelites, all right, that the Jews, Salakia, had suffered so much from Gentile hands, all right, so at the hands of the other nations, that even back then, they had suffered so much in the Old Testament that in the New Testament, when they was referring to them as heathens or not being being a part of the other fold, it was like a derogatory term.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Salakia. And it reads, Gentiles were looked upon with aversion and hatred. All right. This is evident in the New Testament. John 18 and 28 gives an example where they look down on, the other,
because they was lawless.
Yeah.
And that's why the mystery of the Gentiles with being Israelites is because through the Hellenization period, just like us now, right? We don't know our forefathers' lineage. We've been taught a different language, so on and so forth, and we became Americanized, right? And we are following the ways of this country, which is not ours, all right? And if somebody actually knew who they were, they looked upon them in disdain because they're like, yo, you don't even know who you are. And so what's going on now is the same thing that was going on then.
Right.
You know?
Continuing on this for just because we breaking it down. So for the heathen, Salakia, it also gives an example in Acts 10 and then 11 and 3 as well. But it reads, Yahweh's interest and concern for the heathen is seen in the Old Testament, especially in the book of Jonah. In the New Testament, Yahushua commanded the apostles to preach the gospel. Which gospel though? The Old Testament or the New? You know what I'm saying? Because you get these Christians that come into the, they want to ask like, well, why does it not matter? You guys are all just Old Testament Bible thumping. What do you think Yahushua was teaching?
Right. Because the New Testament wasn't fully completed until like 90 AD or something like that. So
he was teaching people the books of Moses, Levitical law.
He walked into the synagogue and they passed him a scroll of the prophet Isaiah. Where's in the Old? Right. They only was with the Old Testament, man.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, to be a heathen, that's not popping in the street at all. Salakia, they kind of doctor it up to make it sound nice, but it was, the Israelites had been through all kinds of different captivities. They make the Hellenized sounds a lot better than being like, we raped, robbed, and murdered your culture several times throughout history.
Right.
That sounds better,
See, and Hellenized comes from the word Helen, which was actually the original name of Greece.
Right. The Hellenes, or to be or Hella, so to speak. You can go into any ancient text about Greece. It constantly talks about the Hellenes and the Hellenized peoples that really made Greece, Salakia, great in the first place. The fact that they had all them Israelites, in that general area, all your philosophies and things of that nature, it was all coming from Jake, man. But Salakia, I'm almost done with this. So Salakia, Yahushua commanded the apostles to preach the gospel to all the world, and we find them proclaiming it to the Gentile nations throughout the Mediterranean world, which was happening then, and now it's happening all over again.
Right. So to preach it to the world, because through Hellenization, through the curses that Yahweh put upon us, pursuant to Deuteronomy chapter 28, we were to be scattered in all nations. The diaspora was for you, Jake, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American.
Right.
So we grew up thinking, we were Gentiles.
Right.
When we actually was of the stock of the princes of power.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's that whole, like that the Willie Lynch thing. How do you keep when they came to Willie Lynch, for people who don't know who Willie Lynch wrote a book that was basically a series of letters between him and other slave owners of how to control your plantation. And he was like, man, well, you gotta cause problems inside of their communities. You know what I'm saying? Which those things, the Willie Lynch letters, those objects, ideals, those are still in effect to this day.
Well, if you read it, because I actually done a book review, if you want to go check that back out.
Yeah.
I personally think that Willie Lynch knew who we truly were. You see what I'm saying? And he knew somewhat of the prophecy, because this was in the 1700s, right?
Yeah.
Because it actually said that you'll have them for 300 and some odd 50 years if you do what I tell you.
Right.
350 plus, it's damn near coming up to where we at right now.
Right.
So in order to get you back into that slave, they got to do what, and follow that thing out.
Right.
All right.
Which, just for an example, Willie Lynch had ideas that basically, man, like the light skin, dark skin thing, set them against each other. You got a group of brothers or even sisters that are fair skinned or whatever. They came out a little lighter than the rest. They treat them better. You know what I'm saying? So that the dark skinned brothers, so to speak, or sisters see that, and that becomes an issue. Like, oh, well, master always, rocking with you because you light skinned. So you got that. Then you be like, well, them niggas that live on the west side of the plantation, they was talking cash shit about you niggas down on the south side. And you got that element. Then master come down, take your woman out of the crib, bust her down, maybe let a bunch of the farmhand and maybe a couple other dudes bust her down, and then he bring her back to you. Now you got problems at home because she like, well, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm getting bust down by master and everybody else. I don't even need you. So all those things are still in effect in the neighborhoods and Jake communities all over the world. All right.
You finish up on that?
Yeah, that was it on that.
Okay, so we're back now in Jeremiah chapter 10, and we're going to start again at verse 2. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
That's right.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Like, people starting to see, for example, people are starting to see things that they just can't explain. You know what I'm saying? Things are happening in places that they don't happen. Like the other day, we had a windstorm. That Colorado, I ain't never heard of no windstorm ever. Like, you might get some strong winds whip through, maybe, in the plains or something, knocking down trees and power lines and all kinds of things. Never seen nothing like that. There's chariots in the sky every night. And sometimes it's several of them, and they just see them. And I'm starting to hear like, random people asking like, yo, like do you see that? Did you peep that? I thought it was and they all have they all try to rationalize with themselves what they seeing, like, oh, it's a star dying. So stars is just dying all over the world, all at once, all in the air, all for you to see.
Well, see, when you go down, so in dismayed, right? In Hebrew is hathath, right? In the Lashon Kodash, hathath. And it means to be shattered, be dismayed, be broken, be abolished, be afraid, right? Be scared, terrified, shatter, primitive root, right? Properly, to prostrate, hence to break down by violence, confusion, and fear. See, there's a lot of confusion and fear of the signs in the heavens, whether it's the chariots of the Lord, the blood moons, the eclipses, shooting stars, meteors, so on and so forth. So even constellations and how they work together, you see, when we know that there's just an order of how the Most High set up things, but they look, the planetary aligning of this and that, and we could be entering, and then they get scared and they trying to manipulate because they feel like through their mathematics and through this that they can kind of, because when you go back to Babylon, the king, just like how right now, right, you got your president, he has advisors, the presidential advisors, executive advisors. Same thing with the king in Babylon, he had the prognosticators and the magicians, man, the astrologers. When he tried to find out whether he want to go attack another nation or what to do in this province or so on, he would go to these witches and warlocks, and they would look in the skies. They would do this. They would do that. You feel me?
Or like, you know, you go to some of the other, they call it like a seer, like some other, basically, you know, yeah, they go in like a room and, you know, some weird blind chick, you know, like shakes up some bones and, you know, throw them on the floor. And then she like, oh, you know, victory. And everybody in the room is going ape shit. Like,
you know. So we're not supposed to be learning the ways of these other non-Israelite nations, like he just brought out in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary for heathen. All right. So once you know and come back to your true nationality and you know who you really are, you try to see what is my own customs of my people.
Right.
And our customs is written in the Bible. Okay.
Our way of life.
So
how to basically, man. I mean, people like what people will tell you like, oh, the Bible's a guide. It's more like guidelines. It is in some way, but guidelines for the Israelites, man. All right, for how to live life realistically, how to raise a family, to have a functioning business, like to actually have a good life. Like the tools is in here, they're here. But see, the powers that be, you know, they don't want that because they like you know, real scripturally, they have the fatness of the earth and they ain't trying to give it up. You know what I'm saying? So the more they get you to, you know, be in that winning Rome spirit, as to speak, and be heathens and or Hellenized, the further you are away from building on this, from having a good life.
So with that being said, when you come back and you know your nationality, you should be looking at all the stuff you used to do and be like, man, is this in the scriptures? All right. Celebrating my birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, July 4th, so on and so forth.
I mean, they're all man-made,
you know,
holidays, man. Which really have, to be real, here in America, like they push these holidays for monetary gain.
Exactly.
There is no real like memorial. What do they get people? What do the people do like on Memorial Day? Sit around, drink beer, you know, have a barbecue,
take vacations. Everything goes up. It's all economic. Now the scriptures say that the love of money is the root of all evil, man. All right, and that greed is really was going to help, you know, take them down because they're prideful. But let's go and get back into the scriptures. Right now, you tell me what these next couple verses sound like. Shalawam, Zebulon warrior.
Hey, Shalawam, brother.
Shalawam, man. You tell me what these verses entail or what it's talking about. All right. Because mind you now, this is in the Old Testament. Yahushua wasn't even born yet.
Right.
But it's going to explain a custom that people, matter of fact, let's just get into it. This is verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. So we just talked about the way of the heathen. So these people they're talking about are the heathen. For the customs of the people are vain. What is vain? Useless, vanity, futile. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
So you just, what the brother just read, for people who are too, you know, maybe this is just going over your head. He just described a Christmas tree. All right. What do people do? It's very popular here too, in Colorado, and specifically, Christmas is a big fucking deal. People go out to what's the forest out over there. People will go to Woodland Park, and Woodland Park is a foresty area for brothers who have no idea what I'm talking about. It's west of Colorado Springs where we are, and it's a strange place. All right, it's strange. Forest. The people there, they say There's a lot of witchcraft going on up that way. It's strange, man. It's a strange place. It's very woodsy though. It's away from everything. A lot of people go up there for camping trips.
Mm-hmm.
But they have this every Christmas. They let people go out into the forest, chop down a tree,
Mm-hmm.
which is really actually a task. Like the trees that they'll let you take
Mm-hmm.
are massive. Like if you can carry it out, they'll let you take it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to know this guy that liked to go up there every year, and he always needed help bringing his tree back because, you know what I'm saying, he would get this massive tree. But that's what we just read to you. The Bible literally says to not go into the forest, cut down a tree, to not deck it with, what they do. They put ornaments and gold and silver and red streamers and lights and all of this, and they deck the tree all up. It tells you to literally not do that. Like, the brother got it on the screen, man. What more do you need to hear? What more do you niggas need to hear, man?
And when you break it down and when you go down into it, right, the Pagan Trinity, which that has been, because Trinity's nowhere in the scriptures,
right?
But it goes back to all from Babylon has a Trinity, Egypt has a Trinity, Rome, ancient Persia, Greece, so on and so forth. Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. All right, Nimrod or Semiramis was the wife and mother of Nimrod. Nimrod died, all right, and she said that the baby that she was about to produce was from him, was the reincarnation of him, right? Which is funny, I mean, because you are the seed of the father, and this was Tammuz, right? And she said that the representation or the symbology of when Tammuz died, which was really Nimrod, all right, was the evergreen tree, right? Now, there's certain trees, I forgot the scientific term for it, but that do not die, are alive year round. It doesn't go through the natural occurrence of during fall time, the leaves start to turn red and orange and yellow and all of that, you know. Um, so the evergreen tree was a representation of always living, all right, which she told the people as the queen, all right, to back that up.
I just wanted to add this in because you mentioned it.
Yeah.
There's over 20 trees that don't lose their leaves, evergreens being the most like common, but for our specific like area, they say ash trees, aspen trees, beech, birch, cherry, elm, hickory, hornbeam, maple, oak trees, polar trees, willow trees, and then all of the different evergreen trees. There's just different species or whatever. But Khan, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Khan, But see, this is why we, study to show ourselves approved. So with that being said, it was the evergreen tree, all right, is not only a sign of vitality, virility, that libido, fertility, all right, because it comes, because this is why the custom of Saturnalia, all right, which was during the winter solstice, because they were praising, because when you go and understand agriculture, all right, the sun was needed to make food.
That's right.
And if you ain't have food, they would pray to these gods to hurry up so that the harvest can come. All right. So they would have a big fertility orgy during Saturnalia, which is now known as Christmas, which happens now too. Because when you think about it, there's a lot of people born in your August, September time because of people having all types of sex in the December, January time. Right?
Yeah, this puts people, Christmas there's a witchcraft to it. You know what I'm saying? It has the songs. Like when you was reading it, I always think about Deck the Halls. Like it comes to mind. Every time that I read this, Deck the Halls with halls of blah blah blah, and then you know how it goes. But that song is vexing as hell.
Yeah,
like it put all them little songs is vexing as hell. Put you like in a little bubbly, cuddly mood. You want to drink something warm. You want to snuggle up next to a shorty. It does. Puts people in a weird little vibe, man. And you run off, you know, a lot of people, like you said, there's a lot of popping going on.
Yeah, probably.
And shit, this year, it's Christmas Eve, and it's a Friday night. All the bars is open, the clubs, you know what I'm saying? These people are running around popping each other.
Yeah, true, because your women now, because of everybody else in the movies and all of this little snuggly spirit that you saying, right? They're looking for anybody there to be like, oh, be with me warm.
Be my rom com,
you see what I'm saying?
con, you know, super nigga who says I love you on Christmas Day.
Yeah, you know, the whole mistletoe, all of it, from the mistletoe to the candles in the windows to the wreaths to the Christmas tree. All right, it all has its pagan origin, man.
Right.
All right,
which is what we getting into, pretty much.
Right.
You know, it's just shrouded in paganism.
Right. So Jeremiah is now warning the Israelites when they do go into Babylon that don't worship these heathen. Do what they, you know, keep your customs, do what they say, and it'll be well with you when the Most High feels according to his time to take y'all back into the land. Right. So he's preparing them for the captivity, basically. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but they speak not. Yeah, trees don't speak. They must needs to be born. Born means to carry it upon you. All right. You know, a human can walk, a tree can't walk because they cannot go. Right. They can't walk. Right. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. Because certain of these idols, like if you were to, you know, let's say desecrate it, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, you should be afraid. You just put a curse on yourself or something. You know, imagine like a Buddha in ancient, China, and you piss on it, you know, and they're like, oh, you gonna curse you and your family now, and you afraid through superstition spirit.
Right. For an example, in the movie Troy, Achilles takes the beach, and his men row out, and they take the beach, and the first place that they go after they, you know, there's this fight scene and he murking everybody, you know, he's getting loose. And then one of the ladies, like at the end, there's a priest and a lady, and they're talking to him, and they say basically like, you just like desecrated the temple of Apollo. And he looks at them and kind of made a face, and he was like, man, I don't respect these Greek gods. And he turned and took his sword, boom, and he lopped off Apollo's head. And Apollo's head went like bam, fell on the ground, and the dude looking at him like, oh my God, you know.
Like,
but he was like, yo, like, fuck this statue. Is he mad? He was like, you know, and of course the saying in the movie is like, oh, that was the moment that Apollo, you know, that if you follow the dumbass, you know, stories, they say, oh, well, that was the moment that Apollo wanted to, you know, kill him. So eventually his spirit was in Paris as he shot him down. Like, man,
like as if he's supposed to be afraid, like what we just wrote. Right. So we're gonna go into a couple of factors, right? So right now, you know, one of the main factors is, let's just say, which is highly, I don't want to say doubtful, but maybe Jake just don't know, right?
Yeah.
So this is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. It's God's controversy with Israel. So Yahweh is in a controversial spirit to his own people. Why? We're going to read in verse 6 right now.
And I want to let people know too, like, man, you know, because we did our lesson yesterday. We did our sit down yesterday, and we kind of romanticized Israel a little bit. I always like to kind of remind myself, like, you know, like, man, there ain't no way for you to, what would you say? Like, you can't.
Yeah, you're gone.
Yo, who is that?
It's some bots, man.
Man, what the Rooskies doing, man? What you doing over here, bro? Got the agents. Salak, but you know, like the brother's about to get into, you know, there's really nothing to romanticize, man. Like it's like being an ain't shit ass person. You wake up and realize, like, damn, I'm part of this great fraternity, so to speak. Or being like, you wake up and find out you're a king, you're royalty, but you've been doing nigga shit your whole life. Like, there ain't nothing to be romanticized for. Like our righteousness is dirty rags, as we already admit and know. Like, man, we don't even deserve to speak the Most High's name, let alone be able to do this. So, we're gonna get into why there's a controversy though, because Jake is shitty, man. Jacob is like, man, ain't nobody I dislike more than an ignorant ass Jake, man. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people, who are the Most High's people, Israelites, are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Come. And that's all that Israel does, man. It's like, they stay in that same spirit that like Yahushua's own brothers was in, where they're like, nigga, you can't tell me nothing. That's the spirit that you niggas are in all the time. Right. And it's the older you are, it always seems like it's way more difficult to reach the old wineskins than it is the younger brothers. So like this thing of ours is riddled with young men because the older generations are clinging to, and that's not for everybody, because we got many men with gray hairs and there's many men who are able to receive it, but it's obviously not for everybody. We know that, but it seems like, man, them older generations, my grandmama knew everything, niggas, my mom's was never wrong type. Can't tell them nothing, man. Can't tell Jacob anything. They already know everything. They too damn proud and smart. They know everything already. So you can't tell niggas nothing. And for that reason, you really are lost as hell, like dumb as hell. Don't know your own identity. Excuse me. You don't know yourself. You don't know your people. You obviously, if you celebrating all these heathen things, following these heathen customs, you got lost somewhere, man. It's okay to be like, yo, I need to do a complete reset because I ain't right.
Continuing on, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children.
Man.
So the point here is knowledge is key. If you read Proverbs, which y'all so-called wacky-tacky Christians do, because Christians can only be Israelites. You see what I'm saying? Period.
Yeah. And to be real, just even saying like, oh, I'm a Christian. Christians don't even know, like that's like being called a nigga. It was a derogatory term, man.
If you do the actual history on it, even your Edomites, your so-called Caucasians know this, man. You see what I'm saying? When you go, we was called Christians in Antioch, all right, because they was looking at our passionate fervor of following the ways of Yahushua. Oh, those are the ones that followed that anointed one, that Christianos. You see what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, Christianos. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like calling like black Hebrew. Oh, he a black Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah,
it's a derogatory term because we're not black Hebrew Israelites. This thing has nothing to do. You see what I'm saying? With color, it's about spirit. It's about faith, man.
I mean, before we got into this video, the brother was showing me a video of some Issacharites down in Mexico that was blacker than he is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's dark. They were dark as hell. It don't matter what your skin tone is, man. If you are Israelite, whether you are Israelite foreigner, we was just down at the liquor store a little earlier. The dudes in there, a bunch of Korean dudes that they gotta be Jakes. They got too much salt, man. The whole family, from the oldest one, who's the father, to his kids and his kids. They got swag. So it's like, man, your color don't have nothing to do with you being an Israelite, man.
So notice how it said that if you forget the law, since you've forgotten the law of thy power, I will forget thy children. So a lot of y'all children, you wondering why they going through things or in the time to come if they do die, which is a high possibility.
Which answers that question too that you posed yesterday when we was doing the lesson, like how you get these Israelites. So it's like, well, why would God do that? I'm not rocking with that. That's not my God, baby. Woo. No, it is your God. And the reason that shit happens is because you want to be a nigga bitch.
Right.
That's the real reason.
Right? You have no lack of knowledge. Like since you talking about these women don't have knowledge what it takes to be a wife, man.
No,
and
we was talking about that earlier too.
In the scriptures, man.
And you know, this isn't we didn't come out here to bash you hoes, but you need it more than anybody else.
Well, we gonna have to get into it. You see what I'm saying? Because in our community, all right, I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, but it's a majority of those that have kids that are keeping this pagan holiday is single mothers.
No, that right? So the catalyst, realistically, for this Christmas shit.
I got scriptures for that, precepts for that. So I'm gonna read this, break this one down for me.
Got you.
But so it said, "Thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I'll forget thy children." So we're gonna go in the law now. The first 5 books of Moses, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 2, right? Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
Read that again, bro.
Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. All right, and that's the point. I could read the rest. Neither shalt thou speak in case of decline after many to wrest judgment. All right, but the point was that, all right, you shall not follow. There's a multitude. The whole world, all right, is celebrating this specifically in Babylon the Great.
Right. And here in Colorado, we got NORAD. Christmas is a big deal in this town, city, state, for whatever reason. They do the whole like NORAD's tracking Santa. So you know the kid. Right. Yeah, I remember being a kid.
I seen that on the news.
Yeah, I remember being a kid. They would do that, and then like all night they give you little updates. So like the 6 o'clock news, they're like, "Oh, guys, you know Santa is over, you know, by China right now. Like he'll be here soon. Everybody go to bed."
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy as hell, bro.
It's
crazy as hell.
Lie. But then these newscasters, which is really they magicians.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because you're using enchantments, knowing you're lying, but you're trying to enchant the children that their parents are letting them watch this news as if, look, they got the real science. And the science is looking for Santa, you feel me? Which is nothing but an anagram for Satan.
Right.
Man. And then even with who they say it is, Saint Nicholas was a Jake. If you look up the old, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a so-called black man.
Well, if you really dig it, if you start digging and pulling at the history of Christmas, that shit will take you everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's a collection of pagan ideas that are all crammed together. And
all you gotta do is Google it.
Yeah, you really.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I Googled it. Look, I Googled Christmas's origin. There's like 17 different stories of like the origin.
Right.
You know, spanning from, like we were saying, it came originally from Christ Mass. That's where that came from.
Yeah, it's a compound word, right? For Christ and Mass, right? When you go into the etymology of Mass, it really means death. Christ means anointed. All right, so it's the death of the anointed.
Death of the anointed, being marked that the date that he would have, you know, they say
which is fully contrary to the so-called birth. So which one is
exactly?
You see what I'm saying?
But then they go into the virgin birth and this and that and this and that, and then it starts to get stupid.
Right.
But if you go look for this story in the Bible, you're not going to find it anywhere. I don't care how jolly you feel on the 24th, 25th. I don't care if you run around screaming it's Jesus' birth. Most definitely ain't. It most definitely ain't. All right. Shalak, I just was like trying to, before we got busy, I was like, man, okay, let me see a couple of the different, but like they smash it with Yuletide. They got a lot of those Yuletide, the Yule traditions,
right? Of fact, and that takes me to the next script now. Let's go to. We're gonna go to the book of 1 Kings,
because they'll tell you flat out, Christmas is a moneymaker for basically like the merchants in the dead season, so to speak. Like it's a way for them to reboost, you know, the quote unquote economy while people are staying in.
I've seen it. The money, because when you get into economics, right?
Yeah.
because of the weather, people is not spending as much.
Right.
Right.
Because it's cold, but this year's
now
been
the
stupid.
money that they make around this time keeps them even through Q1, which means quarter one. There's 4 quarters in the fiscal year. All right, so it lasts them to quarter 2 when springtime come back around. You see what I'm saying? They finish their taxes and they can try to get back into the green and make more profit. So they need this. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we getting into a time too where they closing flights and with this because they're trying to crash the economy anyway. You see what I'm saying? So imagine, all the money that's being spent already because of the truth getting out. They're trying to push it so much because a lot of people is not wanting to have anything to do with this anyway. A lot of people is waking up, whether they Israel or not. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
but because of the truth being pushed out.
You got heathens. Like you got heathens that know this, man, that come out and say this information plain as day the same way we do, because they're hip to it. You got Edomites that are losing sleep, man. I'm talking about pacing the crib because they know this. And they can't do shit to find a way. They like, damn, them damn Israelites, man, that they exist. You think that there's not an Edomite pacing his house right now talking about like, damn, these niggas, even on Christmas Day, even on Christmas Eve, they in the crib chanting down my kingdom? Yeah, we here, bro. We here doing that. Yeah. And so are a lot of other people. They hip to the bullshit. They know that you guys is messing around. You got
So this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 14, verse 22 and 23, and it reads, and Judah did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins which they have committed, above all that their fathers have done. For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree. So tree worship and using them as altars to worship pagan gods is a big thing. You watch your regular Christmas movie, all right? They would come in the dining room where the tree is at, play on the piano and sing songs together, right? Pass around eggnog. They might have candles, which is like their incense and all of that. It's like a full-on ritual. Like I was talking to a coworker, quick little testimony, and he was like, he do the same thing every year. He go to this one house and they watch this movie, and then they go to another house and they watch this movie, and it's the same movie. You feel me? I forgot what it was. You see what I'm saying? All the,
a white Christmas.
Yeah, white. Them type of movies.
And then what's the other one?
So I'm like, that shit don't bore
you. Is it
you?
A Wonderful Life that people like?
Hey man, all of that nonsense.
It's one of the, it's that movie with a dude like he come home from work. I've seen it before. It's one of them. I feel like it's hard for any Jake to relate to this particular story or the Wonderful Life story or whatever, because like we don't live like that. So he's all complaining like, oh, my wife, my fucking kids, Christmas, I don't want to do it. And then they take everything from him. You know what I'm saying? Like he spends an angel, so basically comes and grants him his wish, and he spends like, the week of Christmas or whatever, like alone, and nobody knows who he is and all that, and then he wound up getting it's a dumbass movie. I don't know why anybody would sit down and really waste their time to watch that, but whatever.
So we're gonna get into another one, because you actually said something earlier, right? About the kids, right?
Oh, so
this is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 16, verse 1. In the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. 20 years old was Ahaz when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of Yahweh his power, like David his father. So we about to find out what the king Ahaz did that wasn't right in the sight of Yahweh, because he didn't act like David. He wasn't of the house of David, so to speak, spiritually speaking. Verse 3. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, right? Not the kings of Judah, the northern kingdom kings, yea, and made his son to pass through the fire, according to the abominations of the heathen, whom Yahweh cast out from before the children of Israel. Last verse. And he sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places and on the hills and under every green tree. So the point I'm making is, All right. Past the fire is not only literal, but it's also symbolic. You see what I'm saying? There was actual, the owl that represented Molech, right? That people would sacrifice their kids and burn them up for tribute to that god, right? Now there was also, you see what I'm saying, spiritually speaking, like a rites of passage. They would have them do certain things or whatever. You see what I'm saying, to get them in an understanding of where they're becoming, kind of like what secret societies do. You see what I'm saying? So when you said that, that do it for the kids, like not even knowing that you're kind of passing your kids through the fire because you're putting him in the bad graces of Yahweh. You're
with all of that,
whether
and that, I mean, that it's not just Christmas. Like you get these women that do that shit. They dress their kid up for for Halloween.
Go to the mall, take a picture with Santa. Yeah, Halloween shit.
That shit is all like
dressed like with blood all over you and shit.
Presenting your kid to this
to demonic, for demons to jump on them, man.
What's wrong with you?
So in a spiritual sense, that's like that, that passes through the fire, even though we know the true context, but we can use it for that instance. Because all of this is an abomination of the heathen. Christmas is an abomination of the heathen, man.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
And the Lord, the Lord has a way that we'll get into about how He feels about these feast days and things of that nature.
So, and just look at what you said with the feast days, right? Verse 4 says, and he sacrificed, what was it? Animals, man. So what did these Jake do? The second biggest dinner other than Thanksgiving dinner. Some people do it big on Christmas dinner.
Yeah, they do.
Ham hocks with the pineapples and all of that, and the this and the that, and the drinks, right? And they got candles and they burning incense. They literally doing the same thing, and they won't sit at the table. They'll sit on the sofas right next to the tree. They want, and it'll be nighttime, and they just keep the Christmas tree lights on to light everything, and they get this spirit because it's like the Christmas tree lights put them in this that Christmas spirit.
That's what I was.
The only spirit we trying to be in is the Holy Spirit, not no Christmas spirit.
It's an artificial like high, like you know what I'm saying. It's fake, man. It's not real to have all that happy energy. It's like that's demons on you, like feel good, baby. Do some shit, do some wickedry, like you know what I'm saying. That's what that feeling you get when you hear the little jolly songs and you start feeling all bubbly, like man, that's demons, bro. That's demons. Which Shalawam. But that's what you got going on, man. That's not something that, like the brother said, we trying to be in the Holy Spirit. We ain't trying to have no weirdo Christmas spirit. Want to go pour some, let's do all of this. Let's go ice skating while the lights are on. Man, we don't want to do none of that shit. No?
Right. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21.
Yeah, that's the one.
I hate.
Read it again. Let's say it again. Because people be like, my God doesn't hate.
I hate.
Yeah, thank you. Those are Howard's words too, yeah?
I hate. I despise.
Hate and despise.
I hate. I despise your feast days.
So the man-made, made up, let's do this because it's fun. Let's have all these different, what would you even call them? All these different customs that take place during this time period are wicked as hell.
Right.
The Most High's not dealing with any of them.
Yeah, you know what a feast is. All this food around, and you set a certain day to do it.
Yeah, we was just looking.
Is one of them. Man.
I was on my little, was on the little social media, strolling through people's stories. Everybody's plate essentially looks the same, like green beans, potatoes, prime rib,
greens, potatoes, tomatoes, all that unclean ass ham. Crab.
You niggas is somebody out there sucking on a crab leg right now. Like the Most High's not fucking with you niggas, man.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies, because when we lift, not only because real incense or prayer is prayers. You see what I'm saying? Spiritually speaking. But that incense, the spirit basically, that when we do a solemn assembly, we come together in solemnity, you feel me, which we do on the real holy day, should I say. He's not hearing y'all, you feel me? Y'all over here Christmas dinner with the tree up, and you over here praying to, oh yeah, so like your Christians would be like try to really make it about Jesus, but then you got your non-religious people that would be like, oh, it's just coming for family and gift giving.
Yeah,
so the Christian fake, the wacky tacky is like, well, we're doing it really because we love Christ and all that, and not knowing every order prayers that you sing, he not smelling none of that, man. He's not hearing none of that.
Literally hates and despises.
Yeah, and that's how you know Jake, because you ever heard Jake would be like, yo, instead of like, yo, you feel me, or you smell me, son, like you smell me,
or like how The Rock used to. Can you smell
with the rock? Right. And this is Jake. So when he's saying smell, it's symbolic. You see what I'm saying? To when you assembling together and you're doing it for praise of your God. He's not hearing your praises, man. That's him not smelling what you got to. He ain't smelling what y'all cooking.
Right. Yeah. You know? That's both literally and figuratively.
Well, let's go down to verse 22.
Yeah.
It's gonna explain it for you.
Yeah.
Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. You see what I'm saying? Your fat hams and all of this, you feel me? And you trying to give this and so Jesus, thank you for allowing us to have family to come together, Jesus, and and eat this good food, Jesus, and he not accepting none of that shit, man. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Actually, go. You can read down for if you don't mind. Are you done with all this?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say if you read down just kind of expands the point.
Okay, verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So the Lord here, you running down, jingle bells, jingle bells. The Lord is like, man, I hope you trip, die, bite your damn tongue off.
Christmas.
Just be sure what you want,
He not hearing your Mariah Scaries.
No.
He not hearing your Nat King Coles.
No.
He ain't hearing none of that, man. Your Run DMC. It's Christmas Day in Hollis Quint. He ain't hearing none of that shit,
not
man.
Fucking with that.
He ain't fucking with your Christmas rap, man. All right, he not listen. And for I will not hear the melody of thy vowels.
Right.
All right. So y'all could get around the piano and whoever's an instrument. Your Christmas cares. He don't care about all that.
Nobody cares. But what's it say down on 24 there?
But let judgment.
Thank you.
Run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream.
So like with a damn fire hose, we over here blowing that shit in your face.
Does a stream ever stop?
No.
I could go now, 9:30 at night and go to some stream in the forest. This stream don't clock in and clock out. It's consistently flowing, man. So our judgment and our righteousness is supposed to flow. So we're judging this day through the scriptures, all right? We're really judging our people. What does it say in Isaiah? What is that? Is it 58? Lift up that, cry loud, lift up thy voice as a trumpet. Let Jacob know their sins. Roughly paraphrasing.
And then
so you're going off if you keeping Christmas and you. That's why I said
especially
it's almost
Jake's,
20. Wait. The unicorn, the internet is out all this knowledge, man, that is easily, you ain't got to go to no library and look up Saturnalia and Yule and this and that, Nordic shit and Thor and Odin and Valhalla.
Because that's what it's all that smashed and crammed together with various other bullshit.
Right.
And they packaged it, made it look good, and they sell it to you niggas. And your excuse that's why I said every year is I got kids.
I'm like, which we're going to get into. That's one of the next factors. We're going to cut all that. We're going to let our judgment, all right, run down as waters.
Because if you see here, man, like if you keep reading, that's a good read.
Yeah.
If you keep reading, the Lord about to cut the shit out you for doing this, man.
Like the topic, it's almost 2022, and y'all still celebrating Christmas? All this knowledge out here. The prophets is out here. And y'all still celebrating this?
All you have to do is punch in the origin history on the internet. You're going to see.
Right. You don't even got to do like pagan origins.
No,
just Christian or Christmas origins. And all the pagan shit just going to come right up.
Yeah, it's going to pop up.
Whether you read an article or watch a video on YouTube, it's going to give you the done deal. So this stuff was happening before your so-called white Jesus Christ, you see what I'm saying, was born, man.
God.
And,
basically as that mighty stream coming down. If you don't mind, are you gonna get to this, brother? Just lock. I'm not trying to overstep. Con. I just hit this one here and then this one because this is how Jake get down.
25 or 26.
Yeah.
Have ye offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? That was rhetorical.
Which is rhetorical,
right?
Because the Most High is, people be like, oh well, God so austere. Yeah, but he got a sense of humor too. He basically was like, yo, I'm not feeling that shit that y'all doing. Y'all want to celebrate Christmas? Why the fuck wasn't you celebrating me when I took your black asses out of Egypt? You went straight to the desert and built a golden calf and started worshiping him. He didn't take you out of Egypt. I did. So Jake always going off, man. That's why the Most High gotta come at us crazy, put us through all this, shake up. He gotta beat us like a badass son, man.
And that's how you know he loves us anyway.
For real. He like, nigga, fuck wrong with you, man. Think about like you ever met just an austere man, a man that you was, for me, we ain't gonna lie, I was Malcolm, man. I was like, I'm never going left when this man around. Like it's not ever gonna happen because, I saw him whoop my sister like one time when we was kids, and that shit was enough for me to be like, no. You know what I'm saying? Which really should be like how it is. And my sister was bad. She got away with everything though as a kid. Yeah. So when we was with him though, he would punish us all. Like, because that's your pops. You fuck up around pops. So yeah, she locked him out the crib, thought it was funny, and then when he got inside, he whooped her good one time because how you gonna lock pops out the crib?
He got his own crib.
Yeah, so he gave her the ones and twos, which now probably be super frowned upon. But I pretty much was like, yeah, I don't want none of that. And I knew from that point forward, like whenever pops is around, I'm gonna be on my P's and Q's, which is how your children are supposed to conduct themselves, man.
Yo, Yahsarala.
Shalawam, brother.
Shalawam, beloved.
Yeah, brother. What's going on? Shalawam.
So you want me to get these last two then?
I think that's cool. Yeah, that was kind of the point. You good.
So we're gonna go to the book of Mark now, chapter 7. And we're gonna probably look, see. So the blue letters title for this whole chapter is followers of tradition. All right, because like my instance with my mom's, right? It's just tradition. This is the only time that people are off from work that we can get family to do this, which is a whole bunch of bullshit, man.
Really,
some bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So let's just get into it. Let's get into it, right? The point is in verse 4 down to verse 6, but I'll start it at the top. The book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 1. Then together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes which came from Jerusalem, and when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashing hands.
So with dirty hands, man. The brothers came in from whatever they was doing, and they sat down and started eating.
Yeah, they hungry, man.
Right.
But the point is they was putting, like, there's nothing wrong with washing your hands, right? But you're putting that over the commandments. Where is that in the script?
Exactly.
You feel me? Yeah, it might be.
Where you got, imagine me and the brother come in from a hard day's work, you got oil, dirt on your hands, whatever, and we just get to eat.
Right.
And then some nigga come up like, you niggas are going off because you didn't wash your hands.
Right, like you're sinning against Yahweh.
You be like, man, if you don't get the fuck out from around, you don't get from around here, bro.
You feel me? And it will be those that's not even doing the real work.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
You guys are some filthy heathens. You know what I'm saying? That'll make you want to jump up and karate kick that nigga.
Hands they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands off, eat not, holding the tradition of the elders. And when they came from the market, except they wash, and they eat not. And many other things there be, which they have received to hold, as the washing of cups and pots, basin, vessels, and of tables. Then the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, "Why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands?"
And of course, there had to be some Pharisees niggas,
right? Some wicked
sitting in
Israelites,
there, right?
You know. So this is verse 6. He answered, who's he? Yahushua. This is the red letter. Right? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
And said unto them, "Well, hath Esaias, which is Isaiah,
right,
prophets in the Greek, prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written in where? The Old Testament. All right. This people, who's this people? Israel. So if that's how you know the Pharisees was Israel, because he's like, yo, let me read this for Yah. Right. And he's talking to Yah.
Which how
Yah is these people.
Which like how you constantly hear like the see a lot of like people that know history or well or whatever be like, you know, why would anybody ever trust the Jews? They killed their own God, right? So to speak. But this is why, like shit like this right here is why the Most High is backhanding you niggas in the mouth, okay? Because even in the face of Yahushua, man, he always had scoffers and people who didn't believe and was down bad on the Most High, man. You know, they was always picking and prodding at everything this man was doing, because you have to understand that would be like if this brother woke up tomorrow and started walking around telling the whole hood that he was the chosen seed, that he was Yahushua, which we know that'd be going off. But of course, like the idea of it though, because I know him, you know what I'm saying? And many other people know him. And if he was to go off and start doing that, you have to think like this is what he was dealing with. Like people around him was like, nigga, I know you. We went to school together. Like, fuck you mean you're the son of the living God. So after a while, and then on top of the miracles plus the following, they didn't have social media, you know what I'm saying? So that probably didn't go well. A lot of times, I could imagine. There's probably a lot of times that didn't go well.
So this is verse 6 again. He answered and said unto them, Well hath Esaias prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And this is what these wacky tacky, right, and putting up a tree and lights and all of that. So, but they say that they're Christians. They say with their lips that they honor the Son of the living power of Israel. Right. But the heart is the mind is far from them. They're wanting presence. And doesn't it say that a gift destroys the heart? Matter of fact, we're going to get to that next, man. All right. But their heart is far from me. Verse 7. Howbeit, in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. All right. And this is exactly what they're doing now on what you're supposed to be doing through these days, man. Yo, what you doing this week for Christmas? I'm just chilling. Oh, you're not gonna be with faith? You trying to teach me what to do on my weekend when I'm doing? No, man. That's what the commandments of what y'all. Oh, well, Christmas you're supposed to buy presents for the kids, man. Verse 8. For laying aside the commandment of the Most High, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups and many other such things. Because it ain't about the washing of pots. It's just
or your hands being dirty or whatever. Any of that.
You see, and he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of the Most High, that ye may keep your own tradition. And it goes on as he goes into the law. For Moses said, honor. You see what I'm saying?
So basically, man, this dude opened his mouth to say some slick shit and wound up getting cut like immensely. You know what I'm saying? It was some great. I'm sure he was highly offended.
Yahsarala brought out the book of John, chapter 20, verse 29. Yahushua saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed.
That's right, man. Being in that state of like I've read something very similar to this the other day, and it was based like the same almost. But yeah, man, like we are the ones. Like, have you seen how shine the flesh?
No.
Me neither.
Do we have to? No.
No. But ultimate faith, that's big bro.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's big bro. Like And you know, I might come off the handle. You say some crazy shit about Big Bro. You know what I'm saying? We don't need like the proof, you know, to have faith, man. You know, the subject of faith is what
the proof is in the spirit. The spirit beareth witness that we are the sons of the living power,
man. Straight up.
That's the spirit. You feel me?
Straight up.
Straight up.
That's the spirit.
And we trying to go straight up in them chariots. You heard?
Yo, Lord willing, Yahsarala, shoot up out of here, man. Because we just got done watching that Resident Evil and they leveled that damn city at the end of it. And I was just like, damn, you know, that's going to be devastation like that, though, on a mass scale.
Lord willing, we deliver.
Lord willing, we get out of some shit like that.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. See, and these people would oppress us because we want to keep the scriptures.
Right.
You know? That we don't celebrate Christmas.
Right.
You feel me? And that makes us mad because then we get into a confrontation verbally. You know what I mean? We contending, you feel me, in a conversation.
Yeah.
And you trying to oppress me because I don't want to worship a pagan holiday.
Right.
And it'll be from your own family members.
Right. Yeah, no, it do. And then they start questioning you. Like everywhere we went for the last, you know, couple hours, whatever, everybody, oh, Merry Christmas, bro. You know, enjoy. You know, the dude had his, we went outside, the dude had his dog in a Christmas
I don't
sweater.
even be saying shit. They say that shit. I just keep, like, I didn't even hear. Yeah.
Cool,
you know?
bro.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
That's right, man.
You see what I'm saying? Because that is bribes, man.
Right. And your heart being your mind.
Exactly.
Man. Your ability.
So parents be thinking if I do this, they'll do what I say. He'll do good in school. He'll do good. Mow the lawn, you know, she'll, you know, not be out here acting like a hoe.
No, but see, that's the problem. Is you giving them these gifts for basically just because, right? And I mean, or be for these holidays, these vain holidays. They destroying these kids' minds, man, because these kids today are monsters, man. They expect like certain shit. They be demanding almost shit from their parents. Like, man, I remember going to the store. And I know it was worse before. You know what I'm saying? Like, not worse, I shouldn't say, but there was more. Parents could, like, man, my mom's used to, man, I would ask her for something. I got told no all day long. I remember I stole a candy bar because I wanted it so damn bad. And my mom wouldn't let me get it. And I stole it. And I remember she found out. She whooped the shit out of me. You know, she's like, nigga, I told you no. But that shit destroys you. Like, you constantly getting it spoils you.
Exactly.
Is realistic,
and the only
to
way
be spoiled is not good.
Except for wait, what is it? Slakia, real quick, while that's in the bear with me.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
I'm with you, bro.
Oh shit. It's not spoiled. It's though that spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, yeah. Come on.
I wanted to get these first 5 verses though in Ecclesiastes because it just is a lot of meat on this bone. Verse 1, it says, "A good name is better than precious ointment." All right, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
So it's better.
So talking about Yahsarala, all roads lead to Yahsarala, not to Rome.
Right.
Over here.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we ain't.
So you're doing it
off Rome at all.
Yeah, right. So off the birth of Yah God, right? White Jesus, in his scriptures, his word, all right. It says that the day of death is better than the day of one's birth. So why y'all worshiping? It's better. You see what I'm saying? When one dies,
right?
You see what I'm saying?
You know, which often.
So if y'all saying he was born on Christmas, but the scriptures say, you know, the day of death is better than that. Why y'all not? You see what I'm saying?
Not to mention that the name itself means Christ's death. Just saying, like Christmas together is Christ's death. Not to mention, you know, that whatever.
Right.
They named it that for whatever reason, but they are marking the death.
Right.
But then you want to turn it into a birthday? That's folly and confusion. You know what I'm saying?
Verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. Right. So you don't see us going to all these holiday parties where they got these foods. We at the crib in a mourning state. Why we say that? Because we read in the book which contains lamentations, mourning, and woe, man. All right. Yeah, we not over here crying, but in the spirit we are. Because we hate this goddamn this place, America, Babylon, so in the spirit we're mourning by continuously bringing out these scriptures, judging, running down like waters, righteousness as a mighty stream.
And we definitely, we're in that state of like wisdom has made us mad. So when we have to go out and be in the world for the next like week, you're gonna be hearing this shit everywhere. And it wears on you. Motherfucker, like, oh, Merry Christmas, bro. Happy New Year, bro. Like, and you be like, man, if you don't get off me,
that's
bro.
The spirit, Yahsarala. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. Right. And the way he should go should not be celebrating Christmas, man. You're not supposed to be training up your child, an Israelite child, in Babylonian and heathenistic customs.
No, that's right. That's right.
But to go on, it goes on to say, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. You think these people, when they coming together and all that, they in sorrow? Nah, man. See, because they're going to laugh now, cry later, but we crying now so we can laugh later. Doesn't it say that Yahweh? Matter of fact, let me pull that up. Well, yeah, I got it right here, the book of Psalms, and I'm gonna bring it in the book of Proverbs. This is Psalms chapter 2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. Yahweh shall have them in derision. So eventually, the Most High, see, he's long suffering right now. You see what I'm saying? He's waiting to destroy them, but he will laugh at the end. And we that move just like our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah, we're going to laugh at the end too. Why? Because here in the book of Proverbs, chapter 1. All right? Verse 24. Start at verse 20. No, verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning. And fools hate knowledge. Didn't we just read in Hosea 4:6? Because they don't have the knowledge of the origins of Christmas. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. You see what I'm saying? So, and when you read earlier about that, talking about how wisdom cries in the great concourse, which we do in the highways and the hedges. So we're going to laugh at that time during Jacob's trouble because we took heed to the knowledge of the Lord, man. All right. So to continue on in Ecclesiastes verse 7, all right. It goes on to say, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. You see what I'm saying? Only fools is in that mirthy spirit, having fun, drinking spiced up eggnog, opening up presents in matching pajamas with the candle lights and listening to fucking Nat King Cole all day. You see what I'm saying? As if America not falling between your fucking eyes, man. As if shit not popping. World War III getting set up. The MOTB is here. We mourning because we know the time that is coming. Verse 5, last verse. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools, man. All right. So we constantly, the word of the Lord is a two-edged sword. So we get rebuked by hearing these words of wisdom in the Bible, man. You feel me? So what we look like listening to the songs of fools. You see what I'm saying? But anyway.
Shalakia. What is the I was laying back in and I cannot think of the scripture.
You didn't spell grieve right.
That's what it was. I wrote it down like 5 times.
It's in the Apocrypha though.
That's what I thought.
Because it didn't show up.
Yeah, I was like, it's not in the KJV, it's in the Apocrypha, but I had it pulled
Sirach
up.
chapter 30, verse 3.
There it is. You got it up already? Yeah, that goes to the book. Sirach. You should Sirach 3?
30.
33.
30 and
30. Shalakia, bear with us. Because the brother said that, and it came to me. I've been trying to pull it up, and it wouldn't come up. So let me get it in here real quick. I'll be trying to take care of my little pages, man. You know, they so fragile.
Not 33, 30.
Yeah, 30, Salak.
And then verse 3.
There we go. Salakia. This is Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 3. And it reads, he that teacheth his son, all right, like the brother was mentioning, grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. All right. Though his father die, yet he as though he were not dead, for he have left one behind that is like himself. So come on, man, we supposed to be, in that status where, yeah, man, like we rebuke Christmas, man, and we teach our children, if we have them, to rebuke Christmas too. That's right. And to rebuke their wicked ass mama if she talking about, you hear them women that they'll always be like, man, he just like his daddy, That's a compliment. I'll take that shit. You can say that to me, I ain't gonna be mad. Right. You know what I'm saying? I would much rather be like my father than any other man, so to speak. But that's what you're supposed to do, man. We supposed to teach our children to not want to be part of this damn wicked society, but then they come crazy at you, for doing that. Like you doing some sort of child abuse because you're not.
Listen.
Listen.
First of all, we're not supposed to be listening to no woman anyway. I'd rather listen to the word.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? However, this is the book of Leviticus chapter 10, verse 11, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Yahweh has spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. You see what I'm saying? And if I had children, I would be doing that, because that's what the scriptures teach me to do. Because he's talking to the men here. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I get my nieces gifts, but they gifts, I get them gifts because I get them gifts. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with whether it's their birthday or whatever, and really kids learn to appreciate things like a little more when they just show up randomly. You know what I'm saying?
Right. This is Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 16. And he brought me is the prophet Ezekiel, into the inner court of Yahweh's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of Yahweh and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east. Now, when you get into it, Nimrod, all right, which in other nations, Nimrod was Osiris, right? Nimrod was Osiris in Egypt. He was Bacchus in Greece. I want to say Dionysus in Rome. Kind of like Serapis Christi in like Persia and stuff. So that sun was symbolic going back to this. You feel me? Because when you go into it, the winter solstice, right? this is why in Babylon they have what is it, daylight savings time, right? In order to give us more day per se, because the sun is only out for a couple of hours. But after the winter solstice is the beginning when the sun starts to stay out longer and longer. So that this is back to Jeremiah. Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, right? Because that is a sign of heaven, and Sol Invictus, which means the invincible sun. They were talking about how the sun dies and then is reborn again because it's now becoming bigger and stay out longer and longer, and the crops. And when you have food, you get to eat more. You could basically feed more children, so you're gonna have more sex and have more kids. It's fertility worship, which goes back to the Christmas tree and the evergreen tree and always living, the orgies, right? The circle around it with the train track, right? Which is supposed to be representative of a womb, and the phallus is supposed to be a tree. You see what I'm saying? Going to mistletoe representative testes. You see what I'm saying? All it's all sick
the
shit,
tree,
man.
obviously being the erect.
Yeah, the erect rod, and then at least I did back in the day. We had the train to go around the bottom of the
People, a lot of people, put the train track down. Yeah, and it does. It looks like a little womb. So if you were looking down on it, it would. Yeah, it looks. Yeah. It looks weird, like it's a weird visual.
Yeah. So I brought this up because our people, just talking about Jake here, they worship in the sun indirectly. I've actually heard Christians say, Jesus is really the sun. I've actually really heard that shit.
They say that.
Worship the sun, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Christianity.
That's why even they put the name sun for sun.
Yeah.
S-U-N to S-O-N.
Christianity is
sun is ban, B-A-N in the Hebrew.
Christianity is through anyway, man. They got there's so many things that don't make sense in Christianity. It dead ends in so many different areas. They're through. They're through. And realistically, all these religions is through, to be real. All of them. They're all through. Them Ishmaelites, Galatians destroys that whole idea that they could ever be the chosen seed. So
Yahsarala put up the book of Zechariah, chapter 7, verse 11. But they refused to hearken.
They don't want to listen, man.
And pulled away the shoulders. Like, yo, come in. Like I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, like nah, man. Ain't nobody want to hear what you talk. Like that's how Jake is,
and
man.
Stop their ears that they should not hear.
And you like, nigga,
So now
we're dope to sell, nigga. Gotta move, gotta get on.
Right. So we're gonna talk about the last factor, and then we're gonna conclude on how they would use the biggest excuse nowadays is for what? The children,
the kids. Right? Yeah, they say most people will tell you they know that Christmas is bullshit. They know.
Yeah.
They're aware. Right. They've been taught. Someone along the road has shown them that it's full of shit. They keep up the facade for the children. That's what everybody's excuse is, right? I do it for the kids.
So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. Matter of fact, we're gonna start at verse 10.
That's what I was gonna say.
Say ye to the righteous, right? Your hopeful elect, the 1/3, 144,000, those that's doing the will of the Father on that right hand side, that it shall be well with him. For they shall eat the fruit of their doings. And what's the fruit of their doings? All right. You shall judge a tree by the fruit that it bears, man. All right. The fruits of the spirit, as we read, is that Ephesians, I want to say?
Yeah.
Right. So, by putting out this work, knowing who we are, loving the brotherhood, so on and so forth, you're going to see the fruit of their doings. Verse 11. Woe unto the wicked. Woe means destruction. All right. Wickedness goes back to sin, man. And the book of John, right? Well, First John says that sin is the transgression of the law. It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. So now we're going to understand the wickedness amongst our people. This is the point, verse 12. As for my people, Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, children are their oppressors. and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
Doesn't like Elder Tahar kind of say, he does say flat out, like the first part kind of coming to this truth is like being a man, but you got to be a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to have order in your household, just be willing to shut shit down. And if you not, like, be by yourself. Because I'm telling you, letting some woman lead you around, not that I'm, trying to bomb on the sisters, but they ain't leading nobody nowhere.
Right, because let's say you just come into the truth. You got a wife and kids, but y'all been keeping the Christmas your whole life. But now you like, damn, we're not supposed to be doing this, and you have a zeal towards the Lord.
Oh, that woman gonna buck, everything you say.
And then if you don't do it, that means she rule over you. You see what I'm saying? You gotta ask your woman, listen, we're not gonna can we not celebrate Christmas this year?
I don't want you to put a tree up in the crib.
It should be, we're not doing it this year. You got a problem with it?
Tell them bounce.
You straight up.
For real.
So, and then the children are their oppressors because let's say we ain't doing it. I got money to get y'all no presents. Oh, y'all don't really love me, and trying to use this reverse, like, our kids do and shit like that, and trying to, everybody else, I guess I got to go to school in January with no new clothes and all my sneakers is dirty. And so they're trying to oppress you in a verbal wise to get you to buy them and presents and celebrate Christmas and shit. Can we go to grandma's for all the cousins is gonna be there and da 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 da. You see, they're leading you to air, man. They're leading themselves to air. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because they're the ones that's ruling.
Right.
All right.
So think about it. If you got, all right, think about it. Especially in Jake neighborhoods, like you've probably witnessed them Edomite, like a lot of Edomite women run their households. But when a man would be like, yo, like that's it, that's enough, like everybody shuts it down. But in Jake's neighborhoods or Jake's, situations, pops is normally not there. So mom's rules over everything. So everybody comes up with that mentality, like, yo, when mom say this, slop. When mom say this, like that's what it is. And then you do, like you got the kids grow up, they control and puppeteer the parents. It's out of control, man. Right. It really actually.
So you shouldn't be keeping no fucking Christmas,
all that shit,
just because we doing it for the kids and this and that. You leading them to err, man. The kids should not dictate what the adults. Matter of fact, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 1, as you see on your screen.
Okay.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord. Did it say parents obey your children? For this is right. This is a right thing, a righteous thing. You ain't going left. You're not going on.
Yeah.
All right. So if you telling your kids we're not celebrating this wicked ass holiday, all right, because you the adult, you brought them into this world through Yahweh Basham Yahushai, y'all gonna obey me. That's when you doing the right thing. Anything other than that is off, man. All right. Too many. This is how you know men have lost their backbones, man. All right. Allowing children to rule them, man, to tell them what to do. And women shall bear monsters.
They are. They have. And these little kids are monsters, man. Most of these children straight up monsters, man.
This is Colossians 3:20. Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So, period, point blank. All right. Anything that the parents say, all of it, children are supposed to obey it. It's not the other way around. So that excuse of, we doing it for the kids, and they go, what we look like because everybody else is doing it. Listen, we are not of the. Let's go to what Yahweh Shah said. All right. This is the book of John, chapter 15.
Yeah.
We're going to start at verse 18. Mm-hmm. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. If you don't celebrate Christmas, is the world gonna hate you?
Hell yeah.
You damn right.
Hell yeah. Tell somebody I don't fuck with
Isn't
Christmas.
the world celebrating Christmas? You
I
damn right.
told a chick today that I've known forever. Like Loki was talking shit to her because she was in a church. You know what I'm saying? She was doing the whole night, and then she decided to say some slick shit like, "Well, if you know anything about God," and then I just got on her. I was like, "Well, if you knew anything about God, you wouldn't be sitting your ass in that church right now."
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sit not in the council of the ungodly. Psalms chapter 1.
Yeah.
You know. All right. This is the book of John, chapter 17.
Mm-hmm.
This is red letter, Yahushua talking. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil.
Mm-hmm.
They are not of the world, even as I'm not of the world.
That's right.
So we just did in the history, the customs of Christmas was here before Yahushua. Was Yahushua keeping some Christmas?
Hell no.
Before he was born, you damn right they was putting up trees in Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
They was probably doing it in Israel that wanted to keep those Babylonian customs.
They were probably doing it in Greece, man.
You know?
Slack you.
Yeah, sanctify them through thy truth.
Mm-hmm.
Thy word
is true.
And we are in this truth because we read and study his word, man. And we came to the conclusion that these holidays are pagan, man, and is not to be celebrated, man. You know? But that's pretty much it on that. Do I have any more?
I had
What are you looking for?
Well, shit, grab. Will you punch in Galatians 1 and 10 real quick? Since you got that up already. Yeah, grab that.
Galatians 1 and 10.
Yeah.
Yahsarala said, these men would rather save money from a divorce than do what Yahweh Shah commands.
No, hey, that's facts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Divorces are not cheap either, man. I'm telling you, they're not cheap. That's why you dudes be trying to avoid it.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, Salah. This is Galatians 10 and 1. You can read it, bro.
1 and 10.
Yeah, Salakia, 1 and 10.
For do I now persuade men or the Most High?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Hamashayah.
Thank you.
Right. So if you pleasing your children, you pleasing your woman, you're trying to do this because it's just to pacify them, because I don't want to deal with the confrontation.
Right. Man, fuck all of that.
You're not a disciple. You're not of the hopeful elect. You're right. You're not the Israel of God, of the Most High.
Right.
You see, period, point blank, man. You are afraid of the men. You know what I'm saying?
Like, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of brothers that have to sit with the heathen today and eat and spend your whole day amongst niggas you can't stand. I'm sure it's happening somewhere. There's a brother right now, you know what I'm saying, sitting somewhere just mad as hell because he watching niggas scarf down pork and eat all these abominable things.
He just want to probably watch the NBA games and shit like that.
Right.
And while all the aunties and the grandmas and the kids running around, and he doing his own thing because he been doing this all year, and he really wished that he wouldn't do it, but the woman go extra spirity for Christmas and shit. And if he do that, he might get some pussy Christmas night. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're ruled by the Queen of Heaven worship. So he's like, yo, yeah, you could do whatever, invite all the fucking relatives that I hate anyway. You know what I mean? But in order for him to get some poons at the end of the night.
So he's sitting there, and hey, brother, to you, we say Shalawam, man, and stay strong, bro. You know, because I know you don't want to be dealing with that. Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men.
Thank you. And basically, man, like if that's so grievous for you, then you don't need to be here. You know what I'm saying? You don't we're not here to entertain any of you niggas, to be real. We're not here to give out no entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Sure, there's people probably watch us giggle, laugh, this, that, whatever, haha. Laugh now, cry later, bitch. We ain't gonna forget. But we're not here to entertain anybody. We're here to try and get you niggas to do right. All right. We're here to, first and foremost, we trying to work out our own salvation. You know what I'm saying? We trying to wash the blood off of our hands for what we've done in our lives and things of that nature. So, you know, if you're not in that spirit, you want to be all in the world celebrating Christmas, like more power to you, nigga. But we ain't gonna see you. We ain't gonna see you on that first trip. Like that's just what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, and this is just how you know, like people are rejecting, you know, the Lord, man. You feel me? But want the Most High to be with them when their calamity coming. We're not gonna hear you in them days, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. I mean, the Lord, if you know, we know in the back of our minds, like, man, the Lord was like basically told the Israelites, like, man, I can't even tell y'all worldly things. How am I supposed to explain to you things of the matters of heaven if I can't tell you earthly things?
Right. I got a couple precepts like now that I'm in the actual sword.
Yeah, I know. That's what happened too. I opened up the book and it was like
yeah, you know.
it was like a comeback.
This is Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Christmas is one of his devices, man.
Mm-hmm. And I said in the chat line, these demons hop on females to destroy these simp ass men. And if you got to do all that for some cheeks, you need to evaluate yourself.
Straight up.
Yo, facts. Facts,
up. And that's another of Satan's devices, Eve, man.
Yeah, Eve. This is Eve. Eve is shining right now. Mm-hmm. She beaming wherever she at.
Mm-hmm. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Hamashayat, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are becoming new. So you can't bring that Christianity, feminism, simp, pagan spirit into this truth, man. All the old things is passed away. You got to become a new man. We don't do them things anymore, man. All right? Don't buy me nothing. I ain't gonna buy y'all nothing, man.
Yeah.
You know? You ain't gotta save the plate for me, nothing, bro. You know? This chapter 6, verse 14 in the same 2 Corinthians, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Go ahead,
Hey, man. Basically, man, you ain't got no business being around these clowns, man. You know, like hanging out with the hacky tackies and kicking it with these, joyous people. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I know some brothers it's unavoidable. Your situation, whatever. Maybe you in the house, you got to deal with all that. But at the end of the day, like we ain't supposed to be, willfully partaking in none of this bullshit. To be honest.
This is my last one.
All right, cool.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2.
Oh, you in Corinthians too?
Yeah, verse 14. I'll start at verse 13. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. All right, so it takes a spirit of discernment to comprehend that this shit is not what we supposed to be celebrating, man. All right, to the natural man, they like, hey, man, y'all trying to, you a party pooper, man.
Yeah, like, hey, man, you fucking my vibe, you killing my vibe.
Right, well, hey, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm killing the shit out your vibe.
Y'all can party in this bullshit. We're partying the kingdom, man.
That's right.
And our party gonna shit on yours. We're gonna be the life of the party.
No, every time.
You know?
And you're gonna be mad because your shorty gonna want to party with us. You know what I'm saying? I got one in Corinthians too. And you still got some on that? Go ahead. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 1 and 17. I got a few I'm gonna rattle off. All right. For the Mashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel. All right, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of the Mashiach should be made.
Wait, whoa, that just hit me. So wait. So pastors is running over this verse?
Oh, they don't even read this.
Why are
they
you
don't read
why
this.
are you it just said the disciples, this is Paul's writing, right? An apostle, right?
I've never heard this in the church ever.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be baptizing because the word baptizes you, right? When you get into that word baptize, it means to be fully immersed. All right. That's why they symbolically dunk you all the way into the water. So you're supposed to eat the whole roll, fully immerse yourself from Genesis to Revelation, including the Apocrypha, man. All right. But it just said to preach the gospel. The gospel to who? The Israelites.
That's right.
But read it again.
Come from the top. This is 1 Corinthians 1:17. It reads, "For the Mashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of the Mashiach should be made of none effect." All right. So the Most High, as we understand, Yahushua died for us. That blood sprinkling, right? We talked about it, in another lesson. But that sprinkling of the blood is what basically saves us, right? That's all saved. If we follow the blueprint, the game plan, that sprinkling ultimately is supposed to be our blameless ticket.
Well, remember in the Torah, it says that do not eat the blood because the blood had the life thereof.
Man.
So if we're saved by the blood of Yahweh Shai, by the life, and what did he do in his life? He kept the laws and he preached the gospel, man.
Right.
That's how we're going to be saved, man. So feeding the sheep, man.
So peep this. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness. All right. So us, what we just explained, that makes perfect sense to me and this brother here. When I'm trying to explain to a regular person how they're actually saved, not because Jesus loves you or you got some personal relationship, but through that sprinkling, it perishes. These niggas are dumb. You can't explain this to them, right? Okay. But unto us which are saved, it is the power of Yahweh. All right.
But look, right? Cross, any man that beareth not his cross, right? Is not fit to worship me, right? Worthy. Cross, when you go into the Greek, all right, is storos, if I'm not mistaken, and it's figuratively to exposure to death, right? So if you're not preaching that, just like how you said earlier, these other camps thinking that we in the kingdom right now, like shit. When you become an Israelite, shit get worse, man.
Yeah, man.
Shit not gonna get
Prepare
better.
thy soul for temptation, man.
So if you're not preaching to them, that is foolishness unto them. Like, nah, like we generational wealth and black businesses and marriaging and eating and drinking until the waters of the flood come and take them all away. That's what's gonna, you feel that flood of fire of ICBM.
Yeah.
But that.
For it is written, Salakia, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise. All right. So all this people, hooting and hollering, oh no, Christmas is a tradition. Man, this shit is not a tradition that we have any business in. Okay. So the Most High gonna destroy all the wisdom that to be wisdom. All these scientists, pseudoscience, this, that, all that's gonna get destroyed. Okay. And I will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not Yahweh made foolishness the wisdom of this world? So you niggas who think you smart and know something and are really embedded in this world, you don't know anything. And you're not saved, and you're not going to make it out. And there's no type of, there's nothing in this book or in the world or in the universe that can save you, man. Okay? Salakia. For after that, in wisdom of Salakia, for after that, in the wisdom of Yahweh, the world by wisdom know not. Yahweh, it please. So basically, the world don't know God. You niggas don't know God. Like the comment the little shorty made to me earlier made me just be like, okay, well then that lets me know immediately you don't know Yahweh at all. I wouldn't have said nothing if she didn't say nothing. But you know, she said some slick shit and got ate up. But Salakia, reading on, because the people of this world, you don't know Yahweh, man. All right. And it pleased Yahweh by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Or Salakia. It pleases Yahweh, man, for us to be in that dumbed down state, and then for him to be the only reason why we come back to it. You know what I'm saying?
True, because just like how he did in the history when they was, I want to say, fighting the Assyrians, and he had a bunch of, what was it, like 30,000, but he was like, nah, I'm gonna bring it down to 3,000, and y'all gonna defeat this 300,000 army. I'm just, paraphrasing with the numbers right now,
right,
just to be proof, because they went there like, damn, we thought we were gonna lose, but we know we're gonna lose now because we don't have this many men, and we won. So it only through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was we able to defeat that army. Right.
Yeah, because 3,000 men killing 300,000. That's a spectacle right there. That's a miracle. You know what I'm saying? You do that. I play the little war game all the time. If you get outnumbered like that, you dead. You dead. You lost. You're not gonna win that. Algorithm. Right? Yeah, the algorithm gonna beat you. Salakia. All right. For the Jews, and it has the I in it, because the 1611 don't have no J.
No J. That's how you know his name not Jesus. Man.
Yeah. And for anybody who's kind of peeping what I'm talking about, all of the where there should be J's, just I believe here where it says Jews, that's an I.
Yeah. 1524,
Trusino
invented the letter J. It's a Renaissance letter.
Yeah. Right. Newest letter in the alphabet. Salakia. So for the Jews required a sign. They needed to see something. You know what I'm saying? And Salakia. So the Jews basically were in that mind frame.
Those that knew what they was Israelites, they already knew. They had that pride. They like, yo, we want to know if you really the son of the Most High.
Right. Like,
we
man,
need a sign,
crack the sky, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the Greeks, Salakia, the Greeks seek after wisdom, but we preach Yahushai, Salakia, but we preach the Mashiach crucified unto the Jews a stumbling block. Y'all niggas don't Greeks, get it.
Which were Israelite foreigners, right? They wanted to understand how the world works. That's why you had your philosophers, right? And this and that and the third, because they didn't know there was Israel and they didn't read the law. So they didn't know what's going on in the world. You see what I'm saying? So they're looking for wisdom, right? And that how does things work and this and that. If you a Jew, you know how things work. Yahweh works everything. You feel me? But go ahead.
So unto the Jews, basically the teaching of Yahushua being crucified is a stumbling block. They don't understand how they're saved through the blood. They don't get it. It's they're you know what I'm saying? They're asked out. But unto the Greeks, it was foolishness. So to everybody else, the heathen, so to speak, when we get to teaching this, you niggas don't know what we talking about. This is just going on. You just see brothers in garments on the street corner or in they living room spouting off scriptures in a manner where they're not in linear, functioning. They're not just straight up and down. Brothers jumping all over the book. You guys you can't keep up. You know what I'm saying? Salakia. But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, all right, those Israelite foreigners and the actual Israelites, Yahushai, the Mashiach, Salakia, the Mashiach, the power of Yahweh and the wisdom of Yahweh, all right?
But Israelites are the only ones that could be called, though.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
So, and when it's saying Israelites and Greeks, he's talking about the people who knew they were Greeks and the Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? Like the group of the Israelites that were calling themselves Grecians, as well as the actual Greeks, and where they were Hellenized in that time period. Now we kind of talk about it. They was Hellenized. So you had obviously Jakes among the Corinthians that was like, that shit don't make sense.
Well, like you have Hellen and then you have Hellenistas.
Yeah.
Greeks and Grecians. Grecians were the ones that knew they were Israelites, but they spoke Greek.
Right.
Which was Hellenistas. Hellen were actually Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites and they spoke Greek or other nations or whatever, but they was used doing the customs of the empire that was ruling at that time.
So let me get back in this a little bit. So Salaki, well said, brother. But unto them which are called both Jews and Greeks, the Mashayak, the power of Yahweh, and the wisdom of Yahweh, because of the foolishness, or Salakia, because the foolishness of Yahweh is wiser than men, and the weakness of Yahweh is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, and not many noble are called. All right. So, you don't, sure, there's the soldiers in the truth, yeah, but like not all of us kind of who have been called to do this, to teach and preach with the like-minded doctrine that we follow, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's doctrine. There's not a lot of us, man. We ain't all over the place in mass numbers, teaching and preaching the mysteries of the book, man. There's a select number of us, 144K to be exact, plus the 1/3 that's included with the friends of the prophets, this and that, women, wives, children, things of that nature. There's not going to be a lot of us out here doing this. You know what I'm saying? And they don't get called. The noble, mighty, strong. Not everybody is called to come and defend the gospel like this for years and years and winter after winter. And Salakia, almost knocked your phone down. Salakia, but Yahweh have chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise, and Yahweh have chosen the weak things of this world to confine things which are mighty, and base things of the world, Salakia, and things which are despised hath Yahweh chosen ye, and the things which are not to be, Salakia, to bring to naught things that are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like he chose the rough, rugged, ignorant, wilding brothers to be the ones who are going to be telling you the truth, right, and blasting it in your face, rough, rugged, and raw. Talk about fuck you, you damn Edomites.
Well, that's why I said in at verse 17, not with wisdom of words. You see what I'm saying? We're not talking with big, we'll maybe in a sit down, maybe say a big word here and there, whatever. But
yeah, I mean, brother, you read and see word, learn words, your vocabulary gets
right. We're schooled, we're learned, we're scholarly, but for the most part, you feel me? We relating to them as the people, like we on the street,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we take the regular people, regular niggas, spicks. You see what I'm saying? You feel me? Treat niggas out there to go, chant Babylon down, man.
For real. Things that in this world are looked on. We go in public and people might treat us well, this, that, whatever. But there's always gonna be somebody like, oh, who let the niggas in here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the same goes for the Hispanic brothers and the Northern Kingdom, the rest of the Northern Kingdom brothers. Like we all get treated like that. And then it's even worse if you got the regalia on, like you jeweled up, right, you shining, right. You come in, you flashy, the chicks is looking at you, then and you get, that shit rub Esau the wrong way. They like, oh man, who let that? Then that's why they labeled you black in the first place, right? To keep you down and oppressed. The Most High chose the things that don't necessarily make people feel all extra good in life to be the things that he cares about, the things that he's uplifting. Slaki.
And is using us for this topic is the one that rebuking this Christmas spirit.
That's man. Right. That's right. I got two more and then I'm done. But down to 29, that no flesh should glory in his presence, obviously. So that's why we give, honors unto the Most High every time. He is the one who's doing all of this. Really, he's the director, the producer. He's doing all of this, man. We just mouthpieces. Shalaki, down to 30. But of him are ye in Mashayak Yahweh Shai, who of Yahweh is made unto us wise, or Shalaki, has made unto us wisdom and righteousness and sanctification and redemption. All right, redemption being that main key word in that whole saying, like through Yahweh Shai Mashayak and the sprinkling of his blood, we have this opportunity because we all celebrated Christmas at one time. You know what I'm saying? We have this opportunity to make this right, wash the blood off our hands, and Lord willing, catch the chariot ride out of here. Lord willing. And I put down, yeah, man, the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as lions. That's right, bro. That's right.
I remember the old videos up, and they would bring out that scripture, and the whole line of Akim would read that out loud, and you would just feel the spirit of Yahweh, and literally the demons would literally, because the scoffers would walk away.
Yeah, they leave, they run off.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 1. The wicked, who's that right there? The wicked flee with no man pursuing.
And then it'll be have some nigga like scooting down. You like, follow that nigga on the camera. Put the camera on that goofy dude.
The righteous are as bold as what? As a lion, as a sheep, as a lion, as a dog, as a lion.
For real, straight up though, straight up. And that's that whole thing, that wisdom 5, all of that, bro. Like, it's gonna be us, yes, the niggas, the tree niggas, the spicks, the ones that you disrespected and kicked while we was down. We gonna be the ones that wind up receiving the whole universe and then some. You dig? Salakia. Down to 31, this is the last one. That according as it is written, he glorieth, that let him glory in Yahweh. All right. So that's where we get it. Like you were saying, like, man, we don't have no glory. Yahweh has glory.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And all glory we receive it from it for anything is really his glory.
Right. Because when he glorifies us, it's just showing the power that he has. He's glorifying himself by glorifying us in the kingdom when we get our new bodies, and he put, us in rulership positions and so on and so forth.
Right. But everything I just kind of read on, man, like, there's a lot of that. That's part of that's like the reason we teach. On top of that, people be trying to put Yahweh in a box, man. You can't do that.
That's the spirit, because I got something.
You can't do that. You can't put him in a box and try to dance around it and make, basically people take this book, they want to follow the things that they like and are not grievous, and then the other things they like, we'll just move past that. That's okay. It's not okay. And the Most High gonna fuck you up for that. Go ahead, bro.
So we gonna end on this. This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 19. Again, think ye that we excuse ourselves unto you? So he's like, we're not saying sorry. We're not excusing ourselves. You see what I'm saying? For y'all, man. All right.
Kind of brother put the wisdom 5 in there. The water, bro. The water.
We speak before Yahweh in Yahweh, but we do all things, dearly beloved, for your edifying. All right. So just like how you said, you know what I'm saying, what we do is for the edifying of the hope for elect. It's to build us up in the spirit, to be prepared for what's to come, man.
That's
to
right.
Know the truth, because this truth is what's going to get us out of here.
That's right.
All right. So I'll read that. What Yahsarala brought up, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1.
My favorite verse, man.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Right. See, the Most High's making an account. Our work's gonna follow us, Lord willing. They like, they just out there doing their little thing. They quote religious worship out there. They black Hebrew Israelites in them garments, them dresses out there in the corners. They not making no account. They not understanding that by us doing that, the Most High is increasing our chances, Lord willing, if we're the elect or not. You feel me? Of being delivered through the salvation of Yahweh and the angels in them chariots, man. You see what I'm saying? And then when shit hits the fan, all right, while they going through craziness, we gonna stand in great boldness, and we gonna be bold when we getting beamed up. I speak as a man. I don't know how fast or how slow that tractor beam going to lift us up.
Right.
But I'm sure if it was like, let's say, a slow thing, and we know that we going up, we'll be looking at everybody looking at us like, yeah, you wish you was one of us.
Right.
Up
yeah, bro, because shit is gonna be coming. Destruction taking place. You might be seeing missiles might be flying past you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So, to conclude, man, it's almost 2022.
That's right.
Y'all still celebrating Christmas?
Come on, bro.
Lord willing, it was edifying. Christmas is not biblical. We did 2 hours. You see what I'm saying? Of scripture. If you bared with us for at least a couple minutes, hopefully you caught something that was edifying. And with that, we want to give all praise unto our Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. I want to give double honors unto the Apostle Elders of Great Millstone, who definitely ruled well, told us it's 100% true. Peace and salutations unto the whole elect men, 144,000 of the governing body, the tabernacle of David, the Bayat Dawadah, the house of David, as well as the 1/3, the large multitude of men, women, and children, all right, out there, not only hearers of the word, but doers of the word. A special shalawam, all right, to those prophets presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, as well as the Israelite foreigners that look like the other nations, likened unto the parable of the speckled bird. To you, Aquath, listening under subjection and silence under your husbands, we want to say shalawam. All right, and with that, Abba Ball, Kwam Yahsarala, Shalawam.
Shalom. Yeah.